Laquita Joseph with Copper Penny Coaching. It has been a minute. Oh my goodness. I know. I'm sure you all are like, where is Laquita with Copper Penny Coaching? Where is she gone off to? Well, I just want you to know, I took a break for the holidays, so I was away during that time. So I'm just happy to be back. I have missed you all. I have missed being with you on Wednesday nights. And so, of course, this is Sunday, right? So it's not Wednesday, it is Sunday. And unfortunately, the Wednesday night time slot was just not working out well. And so I needed to change it to Sunday. So I hope that you all still come out, tune in, and watch me on Sunday evenings at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So again, this is Laquita Joseph with Copper Penny Coaching, and I am going to be here with you on Sunday evenings at 7 p.m. Doing what I do is just talking to you about marriage and relationships. So tonight, the topic is about spending time with your boo. So I just really wanted to kind of touch on this. The reason that I wanted to talk about this is because, I saw a post in another social media group, and basically this person posted a question to the entire group asking, how many couples actually take the time to spend time together? And I thought it was a very good question, a fair question for someone to ask. I don't know any details surrounding that person's particular situation, whether they were trying to find out how they could go about doing it themselves, or, whether they were just polling the audience just to understand, if other people were spending time together. But I thought it was great that they asked that question. That post had 97 responses to it. So 97 people responded to that. And what I noticed is that for the most part, and for that group that was there, most of them responded that yes, they absolutely do. They spend time, or they actually intentionally take time to spend with their significant other, with their spouse, which is great because it is just really something that should happen, right? You feel like, it should happen naturally. And the thing is that, sometimes we think, well, why would someone even need to ask that question? Because you would think naturally, if you're married to someone, that you are actually taking time and being intentional about spending time with them. But that's not always the case. So some other responses. So I told you that there were some people that responded like, yes, absolutely. Yes, I spend time. We are intentional in our relationship to spend time together. But then there were also some who responded that said, my spouse is a workaholic, so it's really hard and difficult to get time. And so being intentional is hard. But for that particular person, they said when they do plan things, that their spouse does comply. So it's not that their spouse isn't willing to participate or spend time with them. It's just that they're working a lot. And so, but when that person does take the time to schedule something, plan something for the two of them to be together, then they comply with that. There were other responses that said they were working on it, so that's good too. Sometimes things just happen. Life happens, and so sometimes you have a difficult time coming together, even when you do live in the same household together, right? It's still hard sometimes to be intentional about spending good quality time together. There was another response that said, yes, absolutely, and that they had been married for 40 years. So I took note of that, because if I have someone who is saying that yes, they absolutely make sure that that's a priority for them to spend time together, and they have a history, they have something to show and to prove and to back that they have been together for 40 years, then I think I want to take notes from them, right? And then there was some that also said that they do everything together. Them and their spouse, they do everything together. So, and that they have consistent date nights and things of that sort. So I just want to know, how do you feel about that, out there? How do you feel about couples who say they do everything together? Do you think that's healthy? Do you think that's unhealthy? Are you indifferent to it? What do you think about that? Maybe take a pause and think about, your own relationship, any relationship you've been in before, and think about, do you really want to do everything with your spouse? Some people do. I've seen that in lots of couples, and I will say that the couples that I've seen that do things together, pretty much everything together, they have a solid relationship. So I know for some folks, they might be like, that's overkill because I don't want to spend all my time with them. But what happens is it depends on that relationship. So it may not be for everyone. So it depends on the individual relationship, and it depends on how much togetherness you might need or want, in your relationship with your spouse. Some people do. You may say, oh, they're clingy or they always together. And, some people frown on that. And I think that's being very judgmental. When people, make judgment against a couple because they are always together or they're always spending time together, because it's up to them. It's really up to that couple in terms of what's comfortable for them, how much togetherness they really want. And if they don't want that much togetherness, right, then they need to talk about it. And it's okay, that each spouse could feel differently about it, but it is a conversation for them to have, so, that needs to be a mutual agreement, and it should be something that's built out of trust for each other, out of love and respect for each other. So basically, if you trust this person, you love them and respect them, then you should be able to talk to them about how much togetherness you really want. Some people like to have their space. Some people need, just some time to regroup, to kind of recharge. And I will say that sometimes when you're not together, when you're away and you're apart, the fact that you are not there makes you want to come out and excited about coming back together again. Or it should, I won't put that way, it should make you excited about coming back together again when you're apart. So if you are apart, you may go off do some things with your friends, girlfriends, guy friends, whatever it is that you do, maybe have a weekend away or something of the sort. But when you come back together, you should be excited to see the other person, that you miss them, that they've had that time away, and you've allowed them that space to kind of recharge with each other. So what should not happen is, you should not be having togetherness because there's one spouse who's insecure basically in the relationship, and so because of insecurities in the relationship, now you feel obligated, right? Feeling obligated to spend time with them and to do everything with that person, because otherwise they would feel uncomfortable if you did not do every single thing with them. That's not healthy in a relationship. And then also, it should not be that, should a spouse be intentionally trying not to spend time with the other spouse, right? So you should not be seeking out every chance you can find or opportunity that you can find to be away from your spouse, because that's not healthy either. So it's not going to work. So therefore, there needs to be a balance of the two of you in terms of how much togetherness should you have. And how much time together is dependent on the couple, but it's clear that each couple should intentionally make time to do things together. So that's the whole point, is that regardless of how much togetherness you want, each of you should be working together to intentionally spend time together, because couples who do spend time together have a stronger bond. So why should couples make it a point to spend time together? You're like, so what's the big deal about it? Why should someone even do this? Why is it even a topic, right? You're like, why are we talking about this? Sure, people should spend time together. Yeah. So there are three things that I want to just talk about tonight in terms of why you should. The first thing is that, one, you want to build a stronger bond with your spouse. Yes, you definitely want to build a stronger bond with your spouse. So that is one of the reasons. So you want to get to know them. So regardless of how long you've been married, you're rediscovering each other throughout your entire marriage, because I would like to believe that everybody is growing, as the relationship grows. You're not just staying in the place that you were when you first met, but that you're learning new things, you're growing, you've been exposed to different things and different people, different situations. So therefore, you are growing. So therefore, you want to really take the time to get to know each other. The more time that's spent together, the more you know and understand about each other. This is just the same as any relationship. So any relationship that you're in, so whether it's just a friendship, you got a best friend, your BFF, if you really want to have a good relationship with your BFF, you actually go out and spend time together. Y'all hang out, you do things together, you laugh together, you cry together, you talk about all sorts of things together, and you build that relationship. And that's how you keep that friendship strong. And that's the same thing in a marriage. There's nothing different in a marital relationship except for this person you have vowed to be with for the rest of your life. And you're spending day in and day out with this person. So more time than you are with a BFF who's not living in the home with you, possibly, right? And so therefore, you're spending day in and day out, and I don't want you to take it for granted that just because you live in the same household with someone that you're actually building a relationship with them, because that's not necessarily true. Just because you're in the same house doesn't mean that you're building a relationship. You could just be there, and that happens a lot. And so it's important that you are intentionally spending time together so that you can create a bond. You could be like roommates living together, so it really doesn't mean anything. But what you want to do, you want to nurture this relationship just like you would nurture any relationship. You nurture relationships with children. You would nurture this relationship with your spouse. The second reason that couples should spend time or make it a point to spend time with each other is to develop communication skills and a deeper level of intimacy with each other. So, if you've been watching, you've listened to other topics that I've had along the way, you'll know that I talk about communication skills all the time, because communication skills are the foundation it's really the backbone of the relationship almost, right? Because if you cannot communicate with each other, you're going to have a difficult time. It's going to be a rocky marriage. It's going to be nearly impossible to get through this marriage and make it last if you cannot communicate with each other. So therefore, I'm once again saying that spending this time together, though, helps you to build that, also to build intimacy with each other. So spending time, it helps you to relax, and it helps you to grow to trust each other. And so therefore, when you trust someone, you're most likely to open up to them. You'll talk about things that are maybe really personal. Maybe there are some things in your past that are hurtful, that are painful, that you're holding in, you've never shared with anyone else. But this allows you the opportunity to get to know your spouse, because this is someone that you're going to spend the rest of your life with. So you would want to think that you can trust them with your life. You can trust them with the deepest, darkest pieces of you, the things that maybe you would never ever share with anyone else. But this person should be that person, your confidant that you can engage with and talk to about these things. And then also, it also helps you to be able to bring up difficult topics and discussions within the marriage. Because when you're spending time with each other and you start to grow and trust each other, Therefore, the other person, when you bring a situation, an issue that's going on that you're feeling in the relationship, then they take it honestly. They understand that you're not bringing it to them in a way to be hurtful or anything like that, but that you're being open, that you're being honest, and that you really and truly want the two of you to address this situation together to get through it together. So, having great communication skills is paramount to having a fun, loving, and long-lasting marriage. So you must have the ability to manage difficult situations in your marriage. You know, you gotta confront things. You know, you can't ditch and dodge situations. You can't ditch and dodge issues in the marriage. You need to confront them. When you first see them arising, you need to confront them and you talk about them. But this is how you build that. You have to have great communication skills and that level of intimacy with each other in order for you to be able to do that. It's just necessary. I'll just say this is necessary stuff for your relationship. You know, but you can do it as long as you have respect and understanding for the other person. You come to them with that respect and understanding, and you can talk about anything that you could ever dream of in your marriage. And so let's make sure that, you know, don't hide behind anything. You know, you should be able to talk about it together. The third reason that couples should make it a point to spend time together is to create meaningful memories. So we want to create memories in our relationships that make us smile, make us happy, right? Make us feel good and feel good about the person we are sharing it with, the person that we're sharing our life with. You know, so why meaningful memories, right? Why meaningful? Why did I stress meaningful? You know, because these memories, I would say, will be there when you find yourself in difficult times, difficult situations, right? So, because everybody's going to have it. It's just inevitable. So, you know, I don't want to sugarcoat it at all and make it seem like, you know, everybody's marriage is going to be perfect and you're never going to go through anything. I would like to be able to tell you that, but that would be not being honest. And the honest truth is every marriage has its difficulties, every single one of them. It may not be the same thing for every marriage. You know, every marriage don't go through the same things, but there are situations that they go through. And so when those times come, you want to be able to stand firm on the things that you already know are true about your relationship. So several lives back, you know, I talked about these 4 horsemen that show up into relationships, and they come in and they really just destroy the relationship and break them down. And so within that, when you are in a failing marriage, you know, one of the things that happens is that one or both of the spouses totally forget about all the good things that happen in the relationship, or they choose to just totally disregard the good things that have happened in the relationship, and all they do is just focus on the bad. And so it's like, I believe, and I know this is no guarantee, I'm going to stress this, it is no guarantee, but I believe that the more you build these meaningful memories, things that are compounded, things that you all share together, the more difficult it makes it for you to just forget and disregard them. You know, it makes it hard for you to rewrite your history, right? So basically that's what's happening. When a couple just forget all about all the good stuff and all those things, they're really trying to rewrite the history of their relationship as though the things that happened that were good never happened. And that's just not true. And it's not fair to the relationship itself, because you want the relationship to stand firm on the truth of what the relationship is. And also, being able to stand firm on that truth helps you to build a foundation and gives you the resources, the tools that you need to maybe carry you through it and get you through and onto the other side of the situation that you're currently facing. But sometimes we just get stuck right there and we just think about, oh, this is just bad, it's horrible, and you just can't get past it, and then all of a sudden you start to tell yourself these stories that it was never good, this was never nice, I never liked them like that, and things like that, which is not true because you already know the truth. You've had these memories. And so if you're building memories and making these meaningful memories in your relationship, it's really hard for you to do that. Otherwise, you would have to flat out lie about the relationship that you had, and that's what a lot of people do. They just flat out lie. It just never happened for them. That it was just all fake. So and you don't want that to happen. But besides creating meaningful memories, it creates a special bond between the two of you. So having these meaningful memories, it's a special bond because this is something that the two of you can reminisce on. It kind of takes you back. You think about it over a dinner or whatever case or occasion that you can look back. Maybe there are pictures, maybe there's a video that you can watch and just go back in time and kind of see the things that you had. Because sometimes when you're going through and you're having a difficult time in the marriage, maybe you need to recreate some of the things that you had done before. So maybe seeing and remembering, oh yes, we did used to enjoy this. We used to do these things and we used to do that. And so therefore, you can recreate the intimacy. You can recreate the experiences that you've had, before in your relationship. So it helps you to be more connected in a way that people outside of your marriage, they just can't even understand it. People outside your marriage, they don't know because they were not there. This is just an experience that the two of you were able to share together, right? So meaningful memories can be created no matter what stage you are in your marriage. So you could be, before children, so maybe you're a couple, you don't have children or anything like that, but you can still create meaningful memories. You may have children, and you can still create those memories, and you can include the children within those memories. And then there's a phase where maybe you're an empty nester. So, your children are gone, they've gone off to college, or maybe they're on their own and they're working on their own and living on their own, and now the two of you are reconnecting and rebuilding the relationship. This is even a better time to create meaningful memories in the relationship. I'll just talk about, my husband and I, we're almost to celebrate 26 years of marriage in April. And over these nearly 26 years, we have done a lot of different things. And memories are one of those things. Meaningful memories are one of those things that, we really don't take for granted. We've done so many things, trips to Tennessee. And when I think about those trips to Tennessee and to Destin, it would be us, it would be our boys. It would be with my mother, who's not with us anymore. So those times are really near and dear to me. And so, create those memories, because when people are gone on, or, whatever phase you are in your marriage, you'll still have these memories to hang on to. We did all kinds of stuff. Our kids, to Panama City Beach all the time. They love that. We did a road trip to Texas, to San Antonio. I think half of the boys remember, they don't, the other one don't, I don't know. But, they did it. They may not realize it, but they did. Even before my husband and I got married, some of the meaningful things, we were college students, so we, I knew him, when I was still in college, and, doing Black College Weekend and Freaknik and all those type of things, but those are memories that we sit back and we talk about, we laugh about, what was happening at the moment and all of those things. These are the things that create that bond between the two of you. You grow closer together and fondness together and all of those things. Then when you do have children, there are things that you do with them. We did so many football tournaments where we traveled for football. We would travel for Thanksgiving every year in and year out. I didn't do Thanksgiving with my family for a number of years because we were doing Thanksgiving on the road because the boys were involved in travel football. all these things, but we have those memories, like they remember what was happening, who was there, what everyone was doing, what games we played, all sorts of things. And then I'll just leave with a final one with my oldest son. And we did a cross country drive all the way from Salt Lake City, Utah, to drive him back to the East Coast just before he left to go to Korea. So he's in the Air Force. And so we did a drive, just he and I. And it was an experience within itself because it was snowing, then there was blowing snow, there were torrential rains, there were all kinds of stuff, ice storm, all the way back. It took us 3 days coming back from Salt Lake City all the way back here to Atlanta. And so, but we have those memories, we can laugh about those. And I just want you and your spouse to be able to create some fun memories in your relationship. Do something. You don't have to travel to do it. You can create those memories by having game nights. We've done that in our house. We used to do game nights and play different trivia, different things that to engage other people. We would invite other couples to do those things. So you have to create that for yourself, but it's important that you take the time to create these memorable memories for you and your spouse that's going to connect you and it's going to keep you together, your relationship intact for a long, long time to come. And so if you like what I talk about, then join me again. My new night is Sunday nights at 7 p.m. So spread the word. Tell everybody that you know that I'm on Sunday nights at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And it's Copper Penny Coaching. You can visit my website at www.copperpennycoaching.com. Go there. You can connect with me. There are ways for you to sign up for a free 30-minute session. If you want to do that, you can sign up and email me or whatever you want to do. However you choose to connect with me, just visit my website, www.copperpennycoaching.com. And I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. And I look forward to seeing you again here next Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern. Have a good night. Thank you.